Hello. Okay, next tutorial. This tutorial is meant to be Santa on a bad day. Let's just say that. It's not meant to be any particular Santa, it's just this kind of... I don't know, it's Santa if you got infected by the T virus, let's say that. I was actually going to put some really scary teeth in, but you can't really see my teeth as it is, so I think I'll leave that. Yeah, I've had several people request this, not just in the last couple of months. I mean, people have requested an angry, scary, zombified Santa. I've not got one particular person to shout out because there have been so many, and I kind of lost track of it because some people wanted to see an angry Santa, some people wanted to see zombified Santa, so this is kind of both, so thank you guys so much for requesting. But yeah, so this is just a crazy fun look to do, just go mad, there's no set rules on it, you guys can just have fun and do what you guys want to do with it, really. So yeah, if you'd like to see how to recreate this madness, stay tuned. So let's get started. I'm going to block out my eyebrows. I'll pop a link here to a tutorial that I've done in the past to teach you guys how to block them out so I can save some time up in this video. Make sure you really heavily block them out, like with an extra layer of spirit gum over them at the end, because I'm going to be applying latex over the top of my eyebrows, which is perfectly fine, but I usually put an extra layer of spirit gum over them just so I know it's perfectly safe. So yeah, so I'm going to do all that and get back to you. So then I can take a sponge and some liquid latex. Now a lot of people ask me about my liquid latex, where I get it from, what type of brand is it and all that jazz. It's not branded. I buy, as long as it's 100% undiluted, that's it. I buy it in bulk. I buy it from wholesalers and places like that. And I do go through a lot of latex, as you can imagine. So yeah, no brand, just 100% undiluted. Works great for me. So yeah. So I'm going to take my sponge, I'm going to apply that. I'm actually going to start on my brow. I might do my whole face, well, not my whole face, because this whole area here is only what I'm going to be focusing on, because this is going to be covered by a wig, this is going to be covered by a beard, so yeah, we'll see as it goes along. But yes, I'm going to coat just my forehead now in the latex. I'm probably going to do about 4 coats, and I can work on building it up afterwards. So there we are. So now I've got about 4 layers built up. I can take some regular tissue paper, which I've torn in 2, so I've got the thinner halves. And I'm going to work in tiny little strips at a time, so nothing much bigger than that. That's probably even too big. And the idea is that I'm going to coat the area. So say I'm going to start on this eyebrow, and I'm just going to press the tissue down, and then press it in with the latex. So the idea is I'm going to go for a very, very, very angry brow. So this will build up the area. So it's going to take about 7 coats of that, but I'm going to do like my sinister makeup. I'm going to do very, very, very arched eyebrows. So I'm going to work in a V shape. So obviously the latex and tissue is going to be a lot higher up here, giving the illusion that you're really heavily frowning. So yeah, so let each coat dry in between, about 7 coats, and we'll go from there. So there we are, one makeshift angry brow. It does help in the last few stages just before it dries, just to push ever so slightly inwards here, or to frown, just gives that extra ridge there, it just makes it look more angry. Yeah, so I'm going to take the rest of the liquid latex, I'm just going to cover this whole area here for about maybe 4 coats. I'm not going to put any tissue there, I don't think. Maybe on the bridge, we'll see as we go, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut into it and have loads of like lacerations, cuts and stuff like that all over the face, and I'll cut into this eventually. Yeah, but this whole area here, as I said, it's going to be covered by a beard, so there's no need to put latex here. There we are, so just thick enough that when I cut into it, it'll be apparent once I put the foundation on. Yeah, so the foundation, right, I've gone for a fairly complicated colour. I wanted it to be, like, not decayed, I wanted it to be, I don't know, very fantasy. So, well, it's meant to be Santa, isn't it? So I've gone for like a minty green colour. So I'm going to use a sea blue by Snazaroo, and that's a watercolour, and a bright green. I'm going to mix those two with a cream-based Snazaroo Clown White. So the colour I got from it is that one there. Not that one, that's the sea green on its own, but yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint that on, and if it looks like it needs more colour built in there, I'm going to put some white, just the Snazaroo Clown White, over the edge and just blend it towards the centre. We'll see how it goes. So I'm going to apply that all over my face, not bothering my neck because my suit and my beard will cover that, so yeah. Okay, I think actually we'll leave it as that, because when I put the black eyes on, it might hopefully come together. So, what I'm going to do is, rather than just using, I'm going to use a black Grimas cream 101, but rather than just using that on my eyelids and then smoking out as I usually do, I'm actually going to do it differently this time. I'm going to use a Snazaroo black watercolour, I'm going to coat my eyelid, and then I'm going to use the Grimas black cream on the edge to blend it out. Reason for that is, I've noticed when you wear a cream on your eyelids, unless you powder it with a black powder, but I tend to forget, it tends to crease. So then watercolour doesn't, because it dries. So yeah, I'm going to paint my eyelids in the watercolour and then the edge with the black cream. So I'm going to accentuate that shape that I've done built up with the latex. So it's going to be low here, high here to make it look really angry, and it's going to go quite low down here, but not really beyond the where your natural eye bags are. So then I can take the black cream and I can just apply it on the edge and then brush it outwards so the colour tapers off. So yeah, that's the general shape. I can neaten it up as I go along. So now I'm just going to take a really fine brush and that black Grimas cream on its own. I'm just going to start on not all of the faces. I'm going to do the cuts in a second, but like the fine details, like the creases here. So if I just pull it around and just pull it out and taper the colour out, it just emphasises those a little bit. Just join this on as well, because it helps if you do a picture of your own face, like when if you've got the kind of expression, so you know where the line's actually going to go. So if I was doing, for example, I'd have this line across here. Then just going to take my Collection 2000 eyeliner gel in black, and I'm just going to line the waterline of both my eyes, just because it looks a bit too pinky, doesn't it? So, right, fun part and the dangerous part. Yeah, I'm going to take some super small but really sharp scissors, and the idea is, I think these are nail scissors actually. But the idea is that I'm going to pinch, and then cut into this latex in random areas just to give exposed. So I'm going to go for bone, I think. I'm going to paint it white and then blend the blood around it so it's more of a deep cut. So, yeah, so there's no particular order to this. I'm just going to cut where I think feels necessary, and we'll go from there. Okay, so then I'm going to take a Snazaroo Clown White, and I'm going to just paint in the areas that I've cut around here, because then I can just blend the colours towards it, and hopefully that will look like Skull. Then I'm going to take a Kryolan bruise wheel, and I'm just going to use the dark blue, almost purple, and I'm just going to paint that around the edge of each of these cuts, just to make them stand out a little bit. Then I can take a new brush and just blend that cream in towards the centre, so the colour completely tapers off. Okay, so they'll look a lot deeper now. They'll look a lot better when I put the fake blood on, but I'm going to leave that until the end. So now I'm going to do as I did here. Now I know where what skin is going to be on show. I'm going to take a fine brush and the black cream, and I'm going to do some detailing on this area here and here. So this mid portion of my forehead and just above my lip, because I know the beard and the wig's going to cover that. The reason I painted this part green, even though the beard's going to cover it, is just because I just want it to taper, and I just don't want there to be an accidental glimmer of like flesh colour, like if I leant down or anything. So just to be safe, I coloured that in. So yeah, so it's going to be kind of like an old age, but I'm just going to be tracing on like lines, emphasising the angry brow and some wrinkles here outside the eyes. Yeah, I'll do it, and then I'll show you blending afterwards so you can see what lines I've done. So these are the bulk lines, basically, so the temples, nasolabial folds, and the general shaping of around the eyes. I'm going to blend those now with just a clean brush and just smoky them out. And I might take a tiny bit of colour, depending on how well this is going to blend on the latex. And the idea is just to blend the colour outwards to the area where you know it's going to be fatter. So like nasolabial fold, you'd blend outwards so the lip area is clean. These lines, if they're going down, you'd blend up just to make them look fatter, that kind of thing. Then I'm going to take some Graftobian Magic Blood Powder, which is some amazing stuff. When you apply it as a powder and then spray it with water, it gives really realistic blood splatter. So I'm going to apply that in the areas where my cuts are, and then I'm going to spray them lightly with some water. So there we are, so I'm going to take my water and then spray away. Only a couple sprays and then it starts to activate the product. So there we are. So for the thinner areas like this here and up here, I'm going to use some Kryolan Fresh Scratch blood, which is a really, really thick coagulated blood that doesn't run afterwards and it does set really nicely. So, I'm just going to apply that. And then I'm just going to, as usual, take some dark hairspray and I'm just going to spray lightly around the edge of my face. Really, really lightly, just to make it look a bit more... I keep saying rustic, but I don't know, it kind of adds a bit more of a dark tone to the look, and when I've got the beard on, hopefully it'll have a good contrast. So then what's left me to do is apply my contact lenses, my beard, my hair, my hat, and my obviously red suit. And there we go. Okay, so this took a lot of maintenance here. I've just put on a beard and wig, both white curly wigs, basically I've just altered, and I've had to trim them in as much as I can. It's super hard to get these to stick down. I used a lot of fake blood around the mouth and just let it fall out, just to make it look extra creepy. Whoops. I've got my Santa hat on, my white gloves, my little red and white coat, my little red and white trousers, which you can't see, but I thought I'd wear them anyway. And yeah, obviously my little glasses, which you don't need. I just think they look quite sweet. I know it's a zombie Santa, but I don't know. I think it adds to the sweetness of the look. Okay, so then mind, ignore me. So I guess you could say this is zombie Santa after he's broken into someone's house and eaten all the naughty kids. Why not? Oh, and the contact lenses are called Tigera lenses, I think, or Tigera lenses, I don't know. And they're from eyesprite.com. They're 70mm lenses, so not quite sclera lenses, bigger than normal lenses. So I'll pop their link in the description bar below. But now you see what I mean with this was the only area really you had to work on with the colour and the blood and that. And to be honest, I think I've even covered half of it up, so... it might be worth trying on the beard and the hat before you start this. So, oh well, you can see most of it, I guess, the forehead. Oh, it's a fun look, and I don't think many people would wear this out to Christmas, maybe New Year's, because I wouldn't want to scare little kids. Because, although it is really tempting. No, that'd be horrible. I can't knock on doors like this, can I? No, that'd be mean. I'm not mean. I wouldn't do that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed this craziness. This is what happens when I make tutorials up on the spot. It just turns out mental. But yeah, so if you like it, please make sure to, rate, comment, subscribe, because it really helps me out. And yeah, so hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Christmas. Yeah, until then, bye.